sensitive, tolerant. I wouldn't call them friendly. They only put up with our presence for the most part. But sometimes they don't. He was trying to scare her, she could tell, but hardly anything frightened her anymore. She had lived through too much to be afraid. It was as if this was her destiny, finding Soren, or his grave. It was her whole reason for bringing her daughters to Alaska. The Indians do not frighten you? No. Katja noticed how his chapped red cheeks made his eyes seem brighter, as if sparking. His full lips curled in derision. He was so sure he could talk her out of this. What about the bears? He continued. There are grizzlies so big they could tear your pretty head off your shoulders with one swipe. Mr. Walker, Trent warned, rising. Tora's hand squeezed Katja's again. James held up a hand. No, she needs to hear this. And she needs to be prepared for the dangers that wait for us, for her. This is no walk down the lane. This is survival. And if she isn't up to the task, she'll be putting all our lives at risk. If she intends to come along, she needs to know. I won't coddle her. He leaned closer, daring Katja to look away. If the bears don't get you, Mrs. Janssen, there are mosquitoes the size of hummingbirds that will eat at you all day and won't let you rest at night. To say nothing of the flies and the gnats. They get so thick at times that you have no choice but to breathe in a whole mess of them. You'll sweat all day on the trail and shiver all night from the cold. We'll be walking for miles, each of us carrying a pack. That includes you. Katachan and I can't manage your rations as well as ours. He looked her over from head to toe. That's 75 pounds of pack, Mrs. Janssen. Mr. Walker, Trent exclaimed, aghast at his lack of manners. No, Trent, she said clearly. It is all right. Mr. Walker wants to know what he is taking on. She stood as tall as possible to reach every bit of her 5 feet 6 inches and stared at him, forcing James to take a step backward. I do understand the risks, Mr. Walker. I have lived here in Juneau for long enough to have heard every one of the horrible rumors about death and dismemberment that the miners spread. I understand that there are frightening things ahead of us, challenges we must face. She took a step closer. But you need to understand this, Mr. Walker. You have never met a more determined woman than I. I have left my homeland in Norway to come to America. I bore a child on the plains of Dakota and traveled on to the Washington Territory after my husband abandoned me. I have broken virgin ground to plant crops and carried buckets of water to nourish them. With these hands, she said, raising them both to defy his incredulous look. I have raised 2 children by myself while finding a means to support us. I am not afraid of a hard task. Do you understand me? James looked unsettled at such revelations, as if he had assumed she was a society woman used to tea at 4 and a bed turned down by a maid at night. When Katja thought about it, though she still worked at running the roadhouse, she had become, in many ways, the woman he believed her to be. But deep down she was still the same Katja who had shouldered too much pain to ever wither at the sight of danger or hard work again. She might not have been born strong, but life had made her fiercely resilient. He crossed his arms and resumed his dubious expression. She had surprised him, but she had not yet won. It will cost you a considerable amount. We are speaking of a journey of 4 months. We'll need provisions and cash, items to barter if we need assistance or goods from the natives. You will receive half before leaving, Trent interjected, and half when you bring Mrs. Janssen safely home. He took a step forward, eye to eye with the guide. And understand that if you fail to bring her home safely, you will pay for it. I don't take kindly to threats, Mr. Storm. James turned toward the door, clearly dismissing them and their insane proposition. No, wait, Katja cried. She intercepted James and placed a hand on his forearm, thick and muscular beneath her fingertips. Please, I must go. I must. With her eyes, she begged him to understand. His